Hey, good morning guys. Welcome to another episode from the Privileged Bowhunter. I'm Andre Thompson. What I want to talk to y'all about is some of the mistakes that I made as a beginner bowhunter / archer. As you know, many of you know if you've been here for a little bit, but if you're new to the channel, you may not know I started bowhunting in 2016. From that point, I probably hunted every single month for at least 2 years straight. And at some points I was hunting maybe every single week because of this is a part of the reason why I call myself the Privileged Bowhunter. There is no off season for most of the animals that we can hunt here. Therefore, I was able to gain a lot of experience that people will have to wait season after season after season. With that experience came with a lot of mistakes, a lot of heartaches, a lot of pain, a lot of frustration. So the ones that stick out the most to me, I categorized from least importance to greatest importance, and then I'm gonna break those down to you. So you may be a more experienced bow hunter. If you're a more experienced bow hunter, drop your 5 biggest mistakes or 5 biggest lessons learned down in the comments. If you're brand new, like I was in 2016, scroll through these comments and learn what you can learn, so you don't have to bump your head the same way that we did. Okay, it's all about growing, it's all about learning. That's what we do over here at the Privileged Bowhunter. Buy once, cry once. Okay, I remember looking for those deals on that cheaper equipment, the stuff that wasn't tried, proven, and tested. And what I did was I ended up being frustrated with it because it doesn't function correctly. Takes me longer to set up, or I'm setting up some equipment trying to get in the tree to hunt or whatever. Animal comes out, I lose my opportunity. It's bulky, it's loud, and it just isn't very user friendly, or it doesn't last very long. So buy once, cry once. If you have to set some money aside to get the product that you really need, then do that. Buying once may be taking a little bit longer time and doing more research instead of just running in to whatever piece of equipment that you want to get, like a crash test dummy, and then now you upset because now you got this buyer's remorse with something that you don't really even like, something that you really don't even need. So you can be buying once with your research, buying once by setting money aside to get the product that you really need. Or if you have to work on something or DIY it, make sure that you overdo the project. It kind of reminds me of my grandfather. He would always overdo every piece of work that he would do. Everything that he did it to the umpteenth power, okay? And you kind of want to take archery that same way, okay? So invest your time. If you're gonna invest your time, go all the way in. If you do it right the first time, 9 times out of 10, you won't have to rework it and waste more time doing something over that you could have just did right the first time, okay? Same lesson that you give to your kids, give to yourself when you're doing archery, okay? All right, number 4, this was probably one of the bigger mistakes that I made. And see, hunting pigs here, we would set up trail cameras, kind of figure out when they're starting to find the corn and then when they're starting to pattern in daylight hours. Well, what I was doing was checking trail cameras every week. And if you know anything about pigs, they can either be very, very domestic, or they can be very, very smart and opportunistic. They're survivors. That's why they're so rampant in Texas. That's why they're so rampant in Hawaii. Wherever you put them at, they're gonna double, and they don't die, they multiply, right? You heard that saying about Bebe's kids. Pigs are Bebe's kids, okay? So if you going into their spot to pull a trail camera card every single week, what you're doing is you're educating them. You're leaving your scent in the spot so they know, okay, somebody's here. I don't know why they're here, but it's probably some danger. Let me become more and more nocturnal. So you set up the corn to go off during daylight hours so they can pattern to come in, right? They want to find the corn and then start trying to compete with the other pigs to get there earlier and earlier and earlier. But if you're coming in weekly, daily, or however often you're coming in, you're pushing them more and more into the night, which is going to frustrate you. Every time you're going to hunt, you're going to be like, oh, they were on my trail camera at this one point in time, now I'm here to hunt, they never show up. So make sure that you don't check your trail cameras too often. I'll say that again. Make sure you don't check your trail cameras too often. Me, I don't even use trail cameras. I set up a feeder. I may come back in 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks, and then I sit that spot. If the feeder goes off, if it spits out corn, then I'll wait till dark. If it doesn't spit out corn, I'm going home. It's all about being efficient with my time. Number 3 is very important, so don't get it misconstrued by being number 3. you have to make sure you broadhead tune. Don't make the mistake of getting your bow, oh, it's set up to your draw length, you've been practicing, you killing the center of a pie plate at 20 yards, so now you think you're ready to hunt. You just take some field points, screw it on, and think, oh, it says that field point accuracy. That is not true. You might make a bad shot on the animal because of that. It's gonna hit different than your field points 9 times out of 10, okay? And that's even magnified with fixed blade broadheads. So now you got an arrow that the whole shaft isn't following directly behind the point. So you're losing momentum. Is right on impact, that extra momentum that you should have had from a well-tuned arrow or well-tuned broadhead / arrow setup, you're losing some of that pass-through power. So you might not get a second hole. So now you got a big entry, maybe, and then you have no, maybe you hit them high and you have no exit. So now you're wondering why you don't have much of a blood trail, or the blood trail dries up fast and you never recover your animal. You didn't tune your arrows, okay? So take the time to do it yourself, or what you can do is go ahead and hit up the Island Archer or one of the other archery shops here and let them take care of it for you, okay? So broadhead tune your arrows. Don't listen to the packaging. That's just marketing to get you, to entice you to buy their product, okay? So it's probably a good product, but it still needs to be tuned. All right, so I struggled with where I would rank these next two because they're really neck and neck to me, but I had to prioritize one over the other. So this one is, make sure you work out first. Work out before you go and shoot your bow. Work out if you're still if you're hunting, okay? The trap that I led myself down was, I would say, hey, I'm not gonna work out upper body today because I don't want to be sore when I shoot my bow because I want to sight in today, or I want to broadhead tune today, or I'm gonna be shooting with the fellas today and we're gonna be joking around, so I don't want my group size to be bigger because I hit shoulders or I hit back or whatever, or I hit abs, and now my core, you know, is sore and I can't hold, you know, keep my hips in line with my shoulders and everything in a nice line like you're supposed to maintain that archery form. Well, if archery becomes a real passion for you, what's gonna happen is you're always gonna be shooting. So you're always gonna have an excuse not to work out. Or that time that you were working out, now you may be at the range. Okay, this isn't to mimic Cameron Hanes, because 99% of the population cannot mimic Cameron Hanes or David Goggins. They do things to just another level that keeps everybody else inspired. But for you, it's to make sure that you maintain your health, your flexibility, and you don't get injuries that you shouldn't get. Okay, if you stop working out and you stop being flexible, you lose that shoulder mobility and you lose those stabilizing muscles. What's gonna happen is you're gonna end up with some type of injury where you might not even be able to participate in archery or bow hunting for a long time, okay? And then what happens, your core muscles start to break down, and overall you just become softer and flabbier. And then, even though your archery skills increase, you don't perform as well in the field, in the mountains, or whatever. You're not as an effective or efficient hunter. So what you start doing, you say, well, I'm a good archer, but I'm tired, I can't make it all the way over there. Let me reach out and touch that animal at 100 yards because I've been practicing a lot. I've been practicing a lot on the archery range, but however, my body can't hold up to it, okay? So if you wanna probably stay an ethical hunter, stay in shape, and avoid some injuries, make sure you get your workout in. Prioritize that over archery, okay? It'll help you in the long run. I struggled with where to rank the last two. I already told you all that, but this became my #1 biggest mistake in my opinion. So doing a lot of pig hunting over feeders here on Oahu on public land, I didn't realize until maybe 6 months, even a year in, that when I refill the feeders, right, when I put new corn in the feeders, that I need to take 2 wet towels with me, or 1 wet towel and 1 dry towel, to really wipe down that feeder after I get all that old corn out of there. Because the problem is you get those mites inside of the corn and they start to eat away at your corn. When they do that, they leave dust on the inside. The jungle is already super humid, and it starts to kind of get wet with that dust, and it cakes up in the feeder. So what it'll do is it'll clog the feeder, and it'll also gum up the little spinning plate. So corn might not even make it all the way down the hole, and if it does, the feeder may have problems spinning, or it may take more power from your battery. which it just can't handle. So the reason why I put that number 1 is because it led to a lot of wasted time for me. My main priority is to get back to my family. I want to get back to them safely, and I just want to get back to them to spend quality time. If I'm out here heading to the woods and the feeder hadn't gone off in 4 days, so the pigs then found somewhere else to go, found somebody else's feeder to go to, I just wasted a whole day. Especially because during that time, when I first started hunting, I bought into the scent proof this, spraying everything. I would wash everything and like baking soda, hang it up outside, spray it down with scent proof stuff, get vacuum seal bags, load all of those clothes up into a vacuum seal bag, put a vacuum on it, suck all the air out of it, and I was doing everything super scent proof. I would get to 100 yards from the spot and start wiping down with all this scent proof stuff. All that stuff would take me all day. Matter of fact, it would take me the previous day preparing all of that stuff to head out to the woods. So that was all time that I could have been maybe watching a movie with my kids, teaching my son how to play basketball, playing with my daughter, you know, spending quality time with my wife, right? So now I've cut down on that time because I don't believe in all that extra scent proof stuff. Play to win and you'll be fine. All of that boils down to is be efficient with your time so you can spend it with the people that you love the most. Okay, so that's what this is all about. Get out there, execute your hobby, bring some food back to your family, and then get back home. Okay, so those are my top 5. Where else can you hunt every single day of the year if you want to be able to pack multiple seasons worth of experience in a small amount of time? That's why we're lucky we live Hawaii. That's why I call myself the privileged bow hunter. Okay, make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. If you don't know how to spell his channel, it's PRIVILEGED. I know you know how to spell bow hunter. Let's go.